Hello and welcome back to yet another tutorial on media science. This is part of the media law. So we are today discussing about cyberspace. This is Susheta Sengupta Roy, Professor of Media Science Department, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Modern Science Department of Media Science. So today we have been talking about different sections of law, different acts of the Constitution and the articles of it. Now, today we are going to discuss about a very, absolutely newly formed part. That's the cybercrime and the cyberspace. So, before we get into the cybercrime part, we really have to understand what exactly is cyberspace. So, once we understand cyberspace, it will be easier for us to understand the crime related to the cyberspace. Now, what is cyberspace? Cyberspace is basically a domain characterized by the use of electronic and the electromagnetic spectrum to store, modify, and exchange data via network system and associated physical infrastructures. So, in effect, cyberspace can be thought as the interconnection of human being through computers and telecommunication without regard to physical geography. So, now, don't you think that cyberspace have basically connected the world together? Today, with just a mobile phone, like with just an Android phone in your hand, you are connected with the world outside. It's just not your city or state or country, it's the world at a click away. So that's the huge space. It's a common platform where everybody has entered into. So there are obviously where there are the sector is so huge, quite obvious there will be threats. Now, what are the threats in a cyberspace? Hacktism, cybercrime, cyber spionage, cyber war, and cyber terrorism. So these are basically the threats which we normally face as far the cyberspace is concerned. So what is hacktivism? Now that is hacktivism is something which I think every day we hear. What it is? It's hacking. It's very commonly known as hacking. So hacktivism is the use of computers and computer networks to promote political ends. So, chiefly free speech, human rights, and information ethics. So, it is carried out under the premises that proper use of technology can produce results similar to those of conventional acts to protect activism and civil disobedience. Now, defacing web pages. Defacing web pages between 1995 to and 1999. So, Attrition organized reported 5,000 website defacement. In such a scenario, the hacktivist will significantly alter the front page of a company or the government agency website. So that's because it's already faced. So website ins. So in this form of hacktivism, hackers attempt to send so much traffic to the site that the overwhelmed site becomes inaccessible to other users in a variation on a denial of service. So it becomes so heavy that you will not be able to access it. So the email bombing. What's email bombing? It's not any big bomb coming and exploring, but it's like obviously so cyberspace explosion. So hacktivists sent scores of emails with large file attached to their target email address. So now suppose email address has a every it's either a Gmail or a Rediff mail or any other email account you're using will obviously have a certain space into it. Now, if this hacktivist starts, the hackers basically start sending you huge files with huge memory. So once they get into your inbox is basically jam packed. It's packed up in such a way that important emails will obviously not reach your mailbox. So, website mirroring. Mirror, we all know about mirror. So it is used as a circumvention tool to bypass censorship blocks on websites. So it is a technique that copies the content of a censored website and posts it to other domain and subdomain that are not censored. So suppose there is a censor there because as films has a censor, websites has a censor. Now suppose there's a website which has been censored because of certain materials or some certain maybe indecent materials into it, maybe something obscene, something objectionable, whatever it is. Now if suppose somebody copies it, it mirrors basically, it's like a mirror, copying that materials of that website, the blocked website, to another website, another subdomain, and uses it. So that is website mirroring. Geobombing. Geobombing is basically a technique in which netizens add a geo tag while editing YouTube videos so that the location of the video can be displayed in geo earth. So this is what called the geobombing. Anonymous blogging. Anonymous blogging is a method of speaking out to the wide audience about human rights issues, government oppressions, etc., that utilizes various web tools such as free email account, IP masking, blogging software to preserve a high level of anonymity. Somebody really wants to talk about the present scenario or the present whatever, maybe talking about pandemic or talking about political issues, and really don't want to forecast his name, or doesn't want to be a whistleblower. So in that case, what happens? He can always put this as a blog. It can be an anonymous blog. He can hide his presence or hide his identity from the cyberspace. Doxing. Now, doxing is the practice of outing of private information about individual, but term is sometimes used more broadly to refer to exposing embarrassing information about organizations. So that this will obviously affect the company's reputation. Swatting. So swatting is the act of triggering a police raid, usually that of an anti-terrorist team like the SWAT team in the United States, typically for retaliation or harassment, and based on providing false information to law enforcement. So that in that case, what happens is that becomes a very wrong image. Now, what's a cyber crime? So after the cyberspace, we come to cyber crime. So what exactly is cyber crime? Cyber crime is basically crime related or depending on cyberspace or the computer as a layman's word. So at present, it can be obviously from your Android phone also. So like computer or crime refers to any crime that involves a computer and a network. So a computer which is not attached to any network, an individual computer where a person just sits back doing data entry or something, which is not added to the net and not added to the cyberspace out in the world, that computer will never be attacked by cybercrime. So obvious. So the computer has to be into the network. So the computer may have been used in the commission of a crime, or it may be the target. So what's a net crime? So net crime refers to criminal exploitation of the internet. Cyber crimes. So Haldar and Jaishankar in 2011 defines cybercrime as offenses that are committed against individuals or groups of individuals with a criminal motive to intentionally harm the reputation of the victim or cause physical or mental harm to the victim directly or indirectly using modern telecommunication network such as internet chat rooms, emails, notice boards and groups, and mobile phones like SMS, MMS. These are basically this part of the cyber crime. So such crime may threaten a nation's security and obviously the financial health, because that is also very important, the state's financial health. So cybercrime issues surrounding this type of crime have become high profile, particularly those surrounding cracking, copyright infringement, child pornography, and child grooming. There are also problems of privacy when confidential information is lost or intercepted lawfully or otherwise. So that's where the cybercrime is into. So categories of cybercrime. The cybercrime encompasses a broad range of activities. Generally, however, it may be divided into two categories. Crime that target computer directly, and two, crime facilitated by computer network or devices primarily target of which is independent or network or a device. So that's the category of cybercrime. So categories of cybercrime will be crime that primarily target computer network or devices will include a computer virus, denial of service attack, malware, the malicious codes, crime that use computer network or devices to advance other end includes cyber stalking, fraud and identity theft, information warfare, and phishing scams. Now, today, this at this time, when everybody, I think, has heard about, and maybe has some of us have already experienced type of cyber crimes, like maybe money has been, pulled out of the bank account by hacking the account number. Recently, I think Air India has openly declared that due to some hacking softwares being put into the Air India software, as huge as something like 4.5 lakhs of people with their database, with their account details and everything is out in the market, and maybe any hacker or people into the cybercrime can utilize those accounts for their for their benefit. So people who have maybe just have purchased a ticket from Air India to travel from one place to other is now prone to a lot of cybercrime. Maybe their account will be empty, their identity can be compromised, in the sense their documents can be used to go for a terrorism materials, or maybe for cyber threats, or maybe for cyber attacks, or maybe there, but these documents will be, can be, not will be, but can be used in a different way. So they, Air India said that please change your password, but they're just changing the password, but the documents change. But that is what the cybercrime is into, and it's developing every day. If we think that cybercrime, we know cybercrime, we know the cyberspace now. No, we don't know. With the extension, or with changes coming up every day, cyberspace is, it's developing, and the cybercrime is also developing. So it is a learning phase. So whatever I tell you today in this tutorial video, maybe it's not enough, because it is what till today, or maybe what I know till today, but it will be obviously updated as and when I come to know about new materials, new cyber laws, cyber crimes. I'll be updating the video with the latest materials, and it will be updated because the newest version is the cyberspace and the cyber crime. So it will be updated every day. So what is a computer virus? That is also updating every day, because computer virus we knew about few, it's developing every day, and that's why even the antivirus has to be developed. So it's a business now. So computer virus is a computer program that can replicate itself and spread from one computer to another. The term virus is also commonly but erroneously used to refer to other types of malware, including but not limited to adware and spyware program that do not have a reproductive ability. So that's what a computer virus is. So where there are options, there will be flaws. So I always say, where there's a law, there will be a flaw. So denial of service attack, the DOS attack. So in computing, a denial of service attack, or the DOS attack, or it's distributed denial of service attack. So DOS attack is an attempt to make a machine or network resource unavailable to its intended users, although the means to carry out motives for and target of a DOS attack may vary. It can be the attack, the purpose of attack may obviously vary. Why your computer is made available, not made unavailable for you. So it generally consists of the efforts of one or more people to temporarily or indefinitely interrupt or suspend services of a host connected to the internet. So it can be for a time being, or it can be for the next part of your future. So what's a malware? So malware is short for malicious or malevolent. So software. So it is a software used for programmed by attackers to disrupt computer operation, gather sensitive information, as I said about the Air India part. So or gain access to private computer system. It can appear in the form of a code, script, active content, and other software. So malware is basically a general term used to refer to a variety of form of hostile or intrusive software. So it can be used anywhere. So like what we have, what some hackers have used in the Air India software, the cyber stalking. What is cyber stalking? So cyber stalking is a use of the internet or other electronic mean to stalk or harass an individual. So we are all into the social media now. Everybody is on social media, and when everybody is in a social media, you can very well understand that this will be prone to some type of this individual attacks. So it may include the making of a false accusation or statement of fact, monitoring, making threats, identity threat, damage of to data or equivalent, the solicitation of minor for maybe for sex or gather information that may be used to harass. So there can be a lot of options, there can be a lot of bad options. What I can say is in one word, bad options. So the definition of harassment must meet the criterion that a reasonable person in possession of the same information would regard it is sufficient to cause another reasonable person a distress. Now, what is a fraud? Fraud is the intentional deception made for person gain or to damage another individual. So, fraud is crime and a civil law violation. So, through the specific criminal law definition varies by legal jurisdiction, defrauding people or entities of money or valuables is a common purpose of fraud. So, if fraud is everywhere, if it is through computers, it's cyber fraud. And if it is directly with money, it is a normal, under section 419 of the IPC. That's a normal cheating and fraud. Identity theft. So identity theft, it's like, yeah, it is like, thieves. So they steal your identity. So identity theft is a form of a stealing someone's identity in which someone pretends to be someone else by assuming that person's identity. So typically in order to access resources or obtain credit and other benefits in that person's name. So the victim of identity theft here, meaning the person whose identity has been assumed by the identity thief, can suffer adverse consequences if they are held accountable for the perpetrator's actions. So identity theft occurs when someone uses another personally identifying information like their name, identifying number, or credit card number without their permission to commit fraud or other crimes. So as I said about the Indian Air India case, so the materials which is already available to the hackers or these thieves, so they can use somebody, some materials of these travelers, and then portray themselves as maybe Mr. X, and maybe steal a lot of money from their account because their credit card numbers and their details are open for the thieves. So that's what is the identity theft. So what is the information warfare? So information warfare, which called normally called as IW, is primarily an American concept involving the use and management of information technology in pursuit of a competitive advantage over an opponent. So information malware warfare may involve collection of tactical information, assurance that one's own information is valid, spreading of propaganda or disinformation to promoralize or manipulate the enemy and the public. So, undermining the quality of opposing force information and the denial of information. So, collection opportunities to opposing forces. So, information warfare is closely linked to psychological warfare. So, it is like a psychological torture made through the cyberspace. So, next we'll talk about phishing. This is really, phishing means catching fish. No, this is not FISH, but this is PHISH. Now, what is phishing? It is almost a similar material, like it's always said like, catch a fish, and for cheaters, we are the fish when they go to get hold of our credit card numbers and they cheat us. So phishing is almost the same. The phishing is the act of attempting to acquire information such as username, password, and credit card details, and sometimes indirectly money, obviously by masquerading as a trustworthy entity in and electronic communication. So that's what is phishing is. So communication purporting to be from popular social websites, auction sites, online payment processors, or IT administrators, or commonly used to lure the unsuspected public. Phishing emails may contain links or websites that are infected with malware. So what I can suggest is please don't open an unidentified SMS or WhatsApp messages, or maybe your email where you containing something like you have won some prize or something. Nobody wins a prize out of blues. You know, you work and you are paid. It doesn't come from out of the blues. So never be greedy and never open up this type of malware. This where you can be a victim of phishing. So cyber terrorism. This is like the most updated cyber crime. So that's a cyber terrorism. So what cyber terrorism is? Cyber terrorism is the use of internet-based attacks in terrorist activities, including acts of deliberate large-scale disruption of computer networks, especially of personal computers attached to the internet by means of tools such as computer viruses. They may this due to cyber attack. They can also hack the CBI or maybe some military documents, maybe military secrets. So these will all be types of the cyber terrorism. So what are the main types of cyber terrorism? Simple, unstructured. The capability to conduct basic hacks against individual system using tools created by someone else. So that organization possesses verbal target analysis, command and control, or learning capabilities. So that's what is the types are. So when we talk about the advanced structure, the one is like simple unstructured, and next is advanced structure. So advanced structure is the capability to conduct more sophisticated attacks against multiple system or network, and possibly to modify or create basic hacking tools. So the organization possesses an elementary target analysis, command and control, and learning capability. So that's what a advanced structured cyber terrorism is. So when we talk about cyber terrorism, there's a complex coordinated cyber terrorism. It's the capability for a coordinated attack capable of causing mass disruption against integrated heterogeneous defenses, including cryptography, ability to create sophisticated hacking tools, highly capable target analysis, command and control organization, learning capabilities. So this is like a complex coordinated cyber terrorism. So cybercrime, we have been when we have been talking about the cybercrime and the cyber terrorism. So the computer crime and the intellectual property section. So let's come to the intellectual property. So the computer crime and the intellectual property section is responsible for implementing the department's national strategies in combating computer and intellectual property crime worldwide. So CCIPS, which is the Computer Crime and Intellectual Property section, prevents, investigates and prosecutes computer crime by working with other government agencies, the private sectors, academic institutions and foreign counterparts. So section attorney works to improve the domestic and international infrastructure, legal, technological and operational, to pursue network criminals most effectively. The section enforcement responsibilities against intellectual property crimes are similarly multifaceted. So when we talk about the computer crime with the intellectual property, so we know what intellectual property is. So these are basically the drafts, the property which comes with, which is created by our brain, the books, the journals, the important documents. So that has to be really protected. So that has been protected by this section. So when we talk about the intellectual property, has become one of the principal US economical engines, and the nation is a target of choice of thieves and material protected by copyright, trademark and trade secret designated pursuit goal. But then as far as we understand and we believe that computer crime and intellectual property section is absolute, is also a problem in India, and I think this is a worldwide problem. Every country is sort of like facing the same problem with the intellectual property and the computer crime related problems. So to resolve unique legal and investigative raised issues by emerging computer and telecommunication techniques, so litigate cases, provide litigation support to other prosecutors, so train federal, state and local law enforcement personnel, comment on and purpose legislation, and initiate and participate in the international efforts to combat computer and intellectual property crime. So thank you for now, and this was all about cyberspace and the materials available in cyberspace, but I'll be back again with typically cyber crime and how to combat with the cyber crime and the law related to cyber crime. Thank you.